Hello, my name is Tara and I work with Vestavia Hills Library in the Forest. Today I will be showing you how to make watercolor bookmarks with inspirational quotes. For this video you will need watercolor paper, watercolor and watercolor pencils, brushes to paint with and water to clean your brushes, as well as a rag or a napkin, scissors, white acrylic paint, pen, a pencil, and a Sharpie, markers, painter's tape. Some additional optional items include a hole punch, a white gel pen, string, and scalloped scissors. Before we get started painting the bookmarks, I want to demonstrate some watercolor techniques. The techniques that I'm about to demonstrate are how to achieve a flat wash using wet to wet, a flat wash using wet to dry, a graded wash using one color, a graded wash using two colors, painting wet into wet, and painting dry brush. To paint a flat wash using wet to wet, you'll need to load the paintbrush with water and paint a square of water onto the paper. Next you will load your paintbrush with the color that you have chosen and paint using that color only. Because we wet the paper before adding the color, the pigments will blend together, creating a smoother block of color. To paint a flat wash using wet to dry, you will not paint water onto the paper before adding your pigment. To paint a graded wash using just one color, you will need to load your paintbrush with water again like we did before, and paint a square of water onto the paper. As you can see here, I'm just using a bit of green at the top, but as I go to add more pigment, I am only using water, blending the color out until it's clear. To paint a graded wash using two colors, you'll load the brush up with one color and paint at the top, and then load the brush with the second color, painting toward the bottom. You will then blend the two colors in the middle using just water. To paint using the technique wet into wet, you will need to paint the paper with water first. Once you have selected your pigment, you can paint anywhere into the space. This technique is great to create soft, cloud-like gradients. To paint using dry brush, you will not paint the paper with water. You will just select the pigment that you want to use and just paint directly onto the paper. Before you get started painting, you'll need to find an inspirational quote from one of your favorite books. As you can see here, these are the quotes I decided to pick today. Don't tell me the sky's the limit when there are footprints on the moon, unknown. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. Not all those who wander are lost. The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. To get started, we will use the painter's tape to tape off 4 individual sections, as you can see here. As you are working, there is no right or wrong to how you paint. Utilizing your creative freedom is the point of this project. As I am working, I am using different watercolor techniques that I demonstrated earlier, such as watering down the paper before adding in the clouds, or painting in the graded backgrounds. As you can see here, I have sped up the video of my process. While you are working, you may need to take breaks to allow the painting to dry in between each layer. Again, there is no set pattern to follow as you're working on your bookmarks. I work back and forth in between using watercolor, the watercolor pencils, markers, even the acrylic paint at times. There is even a part in the video where I tried using salt. Because I didn't get a good reaction with the salt, I didn't list it as one of the supplies you'll need. For the quote by Dr. Seuss, I am painting a mountain scene. For the quote from Harry Potter, I'm painting a magic wand that has just used magic. For the "Don't tell me the sky's the limit" quote, I am painting the moon in the night sky. For the quote by J.R.R. Tolkien, I am painting a jungle-like background. Here I've started to use the watercolor pencils. To use watercolor pencils, you'll use them similar to how you would use a color pencil, but after you're done drawing where you want, you'll use one of your watercolor brushes to smooth out these lines. Here I have started to use the markers, adding little details such as trees. Next, I'll use the white acrylic paint to add in extra details, such as the bright light coming off the magic wand and some of the stars in the moon bookmark. Here I've started to add in the words to the bookmarks. It can be best to write out your quote with pencil before writing over it with marker or Sharpie. This will allow you to make sure that the spacing between the words is correct. After adding all of the final touches, you're ready to pull off the painter's tape. There might be some edges where the watercolor pigment leaked through. All that is left to do is to now cut out your bookmarks. I swap back and forth between using regular scissors and my scalloped scissors. On 2 of the bookmarks I have also added string. And there you have it. You are now left with beautiful bookmarks. Thank you everyone for watching and have a great day.